Hi, hello. So this is my teaching statement. I don't know if 2 to 3 minutes will be enough for me, but let's try. So why I want to teach. I am truly passionate about teaching ELA grades 3 through 5. Of course, social studies comes as a package deal with ELA. So I have a love-hate relationship with social studies, but ELA is definitely my passion. I've had the pleasure of teaching third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade. I've taught third grade and moved up with my children to fourth grade, went back down to third, and looped with my kids again, and then turned around and was like, hey, we want you in fifth grade. So I've had the pleasure of teaching all three grades, and I enjoy it. Me teaching fifth grade now, I know what my students should have had in third and fourth grade. So I kind of have that, I kind of have a recipe for bridging gaps when it comes to my students. Um, I love teaching 3, 4, and 5 because that is upper elementary. So it's like they're not too whiny and they're not tattletaling and they're not at this um age where they're babies, but they're still babies. They're majority of my students they're going through the transition of preparing themselves for, well, we're preparing them for middle school. um so they're at a pivotal age. I truly enjoy that age group, 3, 4, and 5. I'm able to lay the foundational skills that they need. um when my students get to me, they're already reading, which is a good thing. It's my job to step in and teach them how to read and comprehend complex text. They're already writing paragraphs, so it's my job to teach them how to write multi-paragraph essays. I truly enjoy doing so. Um, I enjoy bringing in the excitement, teaching problem solving skills, critical thinking, social skills, emotional skills, just being able to help while they're at a formative period, building confidence, and helping them to break out of their shells and become who they're going to be before they reach middle school. I'm basically that ending point of elementary school and the beginning of middle school, and I truly enjoy that. Grades 3, 4, 5 is definitely my passion. Beliefs about how students learn best. I truly believe that your students work hard for you. If you believe in them and they know that you believe in them, they're gonna work for you because they're gonna want to show you that they can do their best. They're gonna want to show you that your work did not go in vain. I've I cannot tell you how many times I've had students to say, "Oh, Miss Gilmore, um, I know I did good on Leap. You helped me so much. I can't wait for you to see my scores." Or when we would take benchmarks, I always have my students data wall. I've always taught my students how to read their data wall. I always keep it up, displayed in the classroom, so they know where they are. They may not know. Every student doesn't know who particularly is in what category, but each individual knows I'm in the, if I have 10 at basic, 12 at advanced, 11 at mastery, the students will know I'm in that 11, I'm in that 12, I'm in that 10 in basic, and I want to be at advanced. So it's like they they want to prove that they can move. So they're gonna work hard because they see you working hard, they see that you are trying all of these different strategies, and they're going to work hard for you if you work hard for them. Also, learning your students is very important to me. That has always been a successful point for me. It's been always been important and a success for me to learn my students. I have to know what type of learners they are. I have to know their patterns. I get to know their data from day one when I get LEAP data before school even starts, and we get that LEAP data during PDs. I learn my students' data. Um, I get to know them through small group. Um, their learning patterns and their moods, how they can move this way and how I can move them that way. There's the standards that they are able to master. I learn them so that I can come up with new strategies. I use my data to drive my instruction. So those are some of my beliefs in how my students best learn. My audio learners, I can have Socratic seminars, fishbowl discussions, and they'll get it. We can just have discussions all throughout class, and they'll learn just from us having discussions. But then I have students who are visual learners, just like myself, where I have to have anchor charts displayed all over the classroom while we're having discussions for my audio learners. My visual learners are looking at the anchor charts, and they're learning that the main idea is found in the beginning of the passage, or whatever the passage is mostly speaking about. They're seeing these strategies, or they're seeing these tools on anchor charts, and I always try to make my anchor charts into different themes to kind of grasp their attention. For instance, CER is a strategy that we use in ELA and social studies. I have an anchor chart that has the C for CER, that's my mashed potatoes, and it basically has the claim. My E is the chicken, literally a piece of chicken I have printed out on the anchor chart. And then my R is peas. And if you get your C, your E, and your R all together, you have a meal. If you don't get this, if you don't have your mashed potatoes, your chicken, or your peas, your meal is not complete. That is one of the strategies that I use in my classroom, and I find that it works for my visual learners. Now, I have students that are both audio and visual learners, and through Socratic seminars, anchor charts, and then my students who like to be hands-on, I also pass out sticky notes. I find that works. Not just writing the strategies down, well, having them write down the strategies by taking notes, but also having them write on sticky notes examples of these different strategies. For instance, if I have a context clue anchor chart up on the board, I'll have them to copy down the definition or the strategies of how to use context clues to determine the meaning of unfamiliar words. And then I may give them some words, and then they have to go back into the text, and they have to determine the meaning of those unfamiliar words using context clues after they've just learned what context clues were based upon anchor charts. Okay, so that's for my hands-on learners. So we kind of, well, in my classroom, I kind of try to hit all notes for all different types of learners, but all at one time. And I feel that it strengthens my students. What was the next one? Beliefs in how. Okay, we did that one. My role of a teacher in today's classroom. As a classroom teacher, I recognize my responsibilities to foster academic success, promote equity, and ensure emotional safety, as well as high quality instruction that aligns with academic standards. That is all basically my central role. And I also differentiate instruction to support my diverse learners. including those who have 504 plans, um, individualized education programs, aka IEPs, my ELL students, which my first year in teaching, I had a lot of ELL students, and I took pride in helping them grow, not just setting goals for them academically, but social goals as well. I would never forget receiving several ELL students who spoke no English at all, and I would set goals for them, social goals, where by the end of the school year, I want you to be speaking more English. So I would just randomly throughout the day, I'll point at different objects, and I'll ask them to tell me what this object is in English. What do we have here? This is a cup. What do we have here? This is a notebook. I don't want you to tell me what this is in Spanish. I want to know what this is in English. And that helped my EL students, as well as pairing them AB partners. I always put my students in AB partners because I feel some of them learn better from their peers opposed to from the adults. So it's all about, my role is all about ensuring that I know my students and ensuring that they are successful. In an effort for them to be successful, I have to strategize, plan, and give high quality lessons, as well as keep a very welcoming, exciting, fun, safe classroom that students enjoy. And for the most part, I feel like I achieve that every year. I'm literally the teacher that has to beg the kids to get on the bus and go home after school. So I take pride in that. um Also equally, making sure that every student, it feels equally important. That is a part of my role, as well as creating inclusive and emotionally safe learning environments for my kids. Classroom culture and climate is very important. Yes, the school may have culture and climate, but it's also very important to me that I have my own individual culture and climate in my classroom for my students as well. Um, Strategies. One of my biggest strategies again is learning my students, um, using my data to drive instruction, whether it is exit tickets, leap data, um, benchmarks or interims, or just um, classroom assessments. I use my data to drive instruction. Also, I strategize where I have my students in AB partners. I have a high student with a low student. Do the students know that they're sitting with high and low? No, they just know that they're sitting with a peer, and that peer is helping them. They're able to have discussions about lessons. They have turn and talk moments where they can have conversations about instruction. They're able to look over each other's exit tickets and help with each other's writing. Um, Most of the time, I'll have a high student sitting with maybe a SPED student or EL student, and I keep them together for majority of the year so that they become comfortable with each other, and it's kind of like having a pal that's with you throughout the year. It's been very quite successful in my classroom. I've been using this for the last 7 years, and it has been a great strategy, a great tool in my classroom, because sometimes, again, students learn better from their peers. So it's like if I explain something and they don't get it, or we can't get to small group right then and there, your buddy next to you may explain it to you real quick and you get it. So that's been a great strategy in my classroom that I use, as well as um different resources. Anchor charts is that's a huge tool that I use in my classroom. I also use Nearpod. Nearpod is a program where I create different PowerPoints and different themes that are very exciting for my students. Um, and I embed different little educational games throughout my lessons using Nearpod to keep my students engaged. Student engagement is a huge strategy as well, because if your students are engaged at all times, they are learning. If they're not engaged, they are sleeping, they are bored, they are not interested. um Alignment with my certification area. As a English language arts and social studies teacher for grades 3 through 5, my philosophy is well aligned with the developmental and academic needs of upper elementary students. At this stage, students transition from learning to reading, reading and analyzing and comprehending more complex texts. They begin to write structured, multi paragraph essays and develop critical thinking skills. My instructional approach supports their growing independence and identify, identity formation, while also maintaining high expectations and offering emotional and academic support. My goal is to help students become confident, capable learners who are prepared for future academic challenges and lifelong success. And let me tell you, setting expectations in your classroom from day one, I'm talking about the first day of school, setting expectations has also been a huge success in my classroom, because my students know what my expectations are from day one, and being consistent with sharing those expectations every day through consistency and routine has been a huge success. My students know when you are turning an essay to me, how many sentences do I want? Nothing less than 20 to 25 sentences. 20 to 25 sentences, that means 5 paragraphs. Multi-paragraph essays. Do not give me 5 sentences, that's only 1 paragraph. Do not give me two. Do not give me 10 sentences, because that's only 2 paragraphs. Students in my classroom know from day one, 20 to 25 sentences. That is my expectations, along with many other things. I set my expectations and routines from day one, and we carry that out throughout the school year. My students learn me, I learn them, and we have successful school years and data. So, all in all, this is my teaching statement in a nutshell. It was supposed to be 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Couldn't get it down that much. My apologies, but yes.